Alright, jumping right into the review, is that the game had an optional installation, but now it has a mandatory patch that you have to download in order to play through the game. And what that download is it adds a friends mode to the online, and it was supposed to fix the online, but it really hasn't done much, to be honest. But it is mandatory, and the problem with this patch though is that the patch is 772 megabytes. So we jump in the game. The game has an arcade mode, which is basically you fight against 5 teams of 3, and it times you for each one. So it's pretty much like a time trial rather than a real arcade mode, which is pretty disappointing as well. There's a versus mode, there's practice mode, there's a replay function where you're able to watch videos of your versus matches and the matches you play online. You're able to save those, so you can replay those and watch those again. You have the online, you have a gallery, which I haven't unlocked anything for. That basically is a bunch of pictures and still arts of the game. You got a PlayStation Store option where you download content from, which there's no content currently on the store. And you have your options. Or somebody who just wanted to get into the game who didn't know much about it. And if you compare this to other fighters like BlazBlue and Street Fighter 4, yeah, the game is pretty damn bare bones. Let's be honest with you. There's no story mode, which is a shame. There's not even a boss character for the game. Hey, that kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Alright, moving on. There's only versus, arcade mode, which is basically like time trial mode, and you know, you're online. That's it. Yeah, it is bare bones. There's not much to it. So if you're looking for a story mode, you're looking for a survival mode, you're going to be disappointed. And to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed that there's no survival mode or story mode. And I've played King of Fighters 11, and to be honest with you, I didn't play much of the story mode or the survival mode in that game, but you know, you kind of miss something once you realize that it's gone. So yeah, that's my problem here. Alright, so this is the arcade mode. You don't get any cutscenes for the characters. Like I said, there's no story mode. This is the only cutscene you get, and one more around the end. This is the time trial regulation mode. Basically the arcade. So now, the roster is pretty good for a fighting game nowadays. But if you compare this to previous King of Fighters where they had over like 40 characters in each game, you're also going to be disappointed here. There's only 22 characters in this game, unfortunately. But what you got here is a nice balance of different King of Fighter characters from the past, present, and now. You have Kyo Kusanagi, fan favorite. You got Andy Bogard, who's returning this time. You still have Leona. You have Seikensu. You have Terry Bogard is back. Of course, this ain't King of Fighters game without Terry Bogard. You got a newcomer, Elizabeth, from King of Fighters 11. You have the returning Mature, which is a console exclusive character like Elizabeth. You also have Yori. You have Robert Garcia. You got these guys. You got Kim. You got Shen Wu, you got Athena Samia, you got like Ash Crimson. Yeah, you got all these characters in here, but most of you are probably going to find fault in this, and you're probably going to be disappointed that some characters didn't make the cut. Mai Shiranui is one of those characters that is pretty disappointing. There's no Yuri Sakazaki, there's no King, and there's no Shermie. I was really looking forward to seeing them bring back Shermie, but unfortunately that's not the case here. So aside from the lack of modes and lack of favorite characters, there's also, I noticed that there's a lot less moves for those characters in this game. Some characters have been stripped down for some reason. Could be because they wanted to balance out the game a little more, and I guess they succeeded in some parts. But the actual gameplay, the actual fighting engine is top-notch, and it's really fun. Another gripe about the game is that there's only 6 stages in the game, 5 if you don't include the night version of the stadium level, and that's another low point in the game. There's only freaking 6 stages to choose from. That's kind of bare bones, but you know, all the work they put into the game, sprites and the animations and the background, you can really see why they spend so much time into making this game look as good as it does. Right now I'm in the practice mode, and the gameplay mechanics are really sound. The gameplay fighting engine is really well done here. You have your high punch, your low punch, you have your low kick and your high kick. And then you could combine those with different directional buttons on the D-pad to pull all these special attacks. As you can see right here, she's got a shield, got some nice, awesome, crazy, spectacular special effects and moves in here. You can even pull all these crazy combos as well in this game right there. I just pulled one off. This game also has special moves, which you'll see right now. Right there, that's a special move right there. You have your grab button, which is the square and the triangle, or the high punch and the low punch at the same time. You have this roll attack, which has been in King of Fighters for a while. It's a really good defensive maneuver, but I noticed that people like to spam on it a lot, and I don't really use it. And I don't use it as much as I should in the game, unfortunately for me, but it's really good defensive mechanic that you can use in the game. Another cool move that they added in the game is these counter moves. I believe they're called guard breaks or something like that, but you hold in the triangle and the circle, or the high punch and the high kick, and you charge up this move, and what this basically does is that it opens the character up for combos, or if they're blocking, they'll break their guard. Another cool move that they added into this game is you press the same buttons that I just mentioned before with the back button, and what this does is that it allows you to block the opponent's attack and follow it up with another attack. And as you can see, I have Leona attacking with the high punch right now, and just watch me right now. See that? I just blocked her attack, and it allows you to get a free hit in. And also what you have here is this critical counter meter that fills up on the top, and once it's flashing green, you're able to pull up this counter attack that opens up your opponent for some smackdown. So I'm going to show you that in a minute, but in order to fill this meter up, you have to get attacked. It's kind of similar to Street Fighter's Ultra combos, but let me show you what I mean right now. As you can see, I'm pulling off crazy ass combos, and you can follow it up with a special move at the end. So it's all upon you. You could just mash buttons to do that. It looks cool either way. It definitely helps you get back into the game if you're losing by a large margin. So definitely keep in mind that this game has some cool attacks and cool gameplay mechanics when you get into it. In versus mode, you have your choice of 3 versus 3 or 1 versus 1, 1-on-1. So it's all up to you. I prefer 3-on-3, but there's also 1-on-1 for those who prefer that. So right now I'm going to take you into a 1-on-1 fight. Show you what that's all about. Also, when you get to choose your character, you have an option between normal mode and simple mode. And what simple mode is basically you're able to pull off the special attacks much easier without having to burn your thumbs. But I don't really use it, I choose normal. One thing I would like to mention though, that I have to give SNK props for, is that the work on their sprites is it's really well done. And although you might see some jaggies here and there on the characters, they look a bit pixelated up close. I take it as intentional because they always used to look like that. That or the sprites weren't on the highest resolution that they were supposed to be. What this does though, it gives it a nice nostalgic feel to the characters, but they still look really good and they animate really fluidly. I mean, as you can see right now, this game speaks for itself. One cool option that I like about the game is that they allow you to add these filters into the game. And what these filters do is that they blur the characters a bit, so the whole jaggies won't really get in your way most of the times. It won't look perfect, but it'll come close to perfect, so it's nice that they added that in there. One thing that annoys me about the game is with the AI, it plays like a complete idiot. I mean, for example, as you can see here, I'm just standing here with Mature, and the AI won't do much in order to like fight me head on. They'll be hopping around. It's like they're button mashing or just like doing the same moves over and over again. It feels like I'm playing with a 5-year-old asshole, to be completely honest. Sometimes it'll put up a good fight, but that's rare. Sometimes it'll just try to cheat you with the same moves. It'll keep rolling back and forth to dodge your moves, and it's just very annoying, to be honest, on normal mode. I heard it's pretty bad on hard as well, but yeah, it's pretty damn stupid. Now, what's wrong with the online? Well, if you haven't heard by now, the game is extremely laggy online. It's very rare when you get a fight where it's really smooth and it runs really well. Oh yeah, this match is gonna lag. This is where the game really falls apart. It's in these online matches where the lag is just so obvious, and it's just everywhere, and it just ruins the game, to be honest. Input lag, The game runs like it's on a slideshow. I mean, it's like in slow motion. It's just very unplayable. They have to fix this. I mean, look at this right now. I mean, see for yourself. Alright guys, so aside from the lack of modes, the lack of stages, and the laggy online, which is going to be fixed, so they say, the game has a decent roster, and it's got a great graphics, beautiful sprites, really well animated. It's got a great fighting engine to boot. It's fun, it's fast paced, the game mechanics work. It does need to be worked on some more. I would love to see some downloadable content for it down the line. Actually, I think the game really needs some downloadable content. So other than that, I'll give the game 3.5 Mama Masala. This is